Hello everyone, I'm Chase, a Rocky Mountain ATVMC, giving you a closer look at our top 5 helmets sub $300 for 2020. All right everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to show you our top picks for helmets for sub $300. There's a lot of different helmets that are out there. We carry helmets from over 20 different brands, so needless to say, it's pretty difficult sometimes to make a decision. A lot of things you have to consider, including price points. So if you're shopping for a great helmet on a budget, this video is going to help you out by narrowing down some of your picks. Now what's cool is that there's actually several different helmets on the table today that are worn or have been worn by some of the best riders in the world, and we're going to talk about that. But also, I want to hear your feedback, because on the table we have the Fox V1, MX9 with MIPS from Bell, the LS2 Subverter, the V2 from Fox Racing, and the F2 Carbon with MIPS from Fly Racing. So if you own one of these helmets, I want to hear your feedback. Let us know what you like about it, maybe what you don't like about it. That's going to help other riders out. Also, I have actually ridden in a lot of the helmets on the table, so if you want some of my personal feedback, I'm more than happy to give it to you. So leave those questions below and we'll get those answered. So without further ado, let's kick it off with helmet number 1. All right, so to start out, first helmet in the lineup, this is the V1 from Fox Racing. So Fox, not too long ago, they completely revamped the V1 in their lineup. And I have to say, I think they did a very good job. So a couple things about the V1 that I think really make this stand out, especially at the $180 to $200 price point. So it's a very affordable helmet. You're DOT and ECE certified. I think it has a really nice aggressive shell design. I'm actually a big fan of how this helmet looks. In true Fox fashion, you have a lot of really cool colorways to choose from. But here's some of the features about this that I like. So it's a polycarbonate shell, size medium is 3 pounds, 3 ounces. But there's 4 different shell sizes in the V1. That's not too common when it comes to an entry-level helmet. But what's nice about having those 4 different shell sizes is that it just gives a better fit depending on the size of the rider's head. And also for the smaller helmet sizes, it's going to help reduce the weight just a little bit. For example, a size medium, 3 pounds, 3 ounces. A size large, because you go up 1 shell size, is going to be 3 pounds, 7 ounces. So for the riders that wear those smaller sizes, you're not adding additional weight to fill in the extra space for that larger shell. So I like that feature about that. So you've got a multi-density EPS liner. The other feature I love about this helmet is how much venting they put into it. You have 9 intake vents on the front. You can see you've got 2 large intakes up here underneath the visor. The guards along the mouth bar are very large. I've ridden in this helmet when it first came out, and I literally can feel the airflow that comes through this helmet. So great venting design. And lastly, you've got the MVRS. It's kind of a hybrid between this and the V3, their premium helmet. You have a magnet right here in the center of the visor, and then you have some rivets on the side. But what the visor is designed to do is that in the event of a crash, it breaks off. So that way you're not adding as much rotational forces to the rider's head or to the rider's neck. So very cool helmet. Again, $150, great entry-level price point, but still a lot of features with that bang for your buck. All right, helmet number 2 in the lineup is the MX9 with MIPS coming from Bell. Now, year after year, the MX9 continues to be one of our most popular helmets at that entry-level price point. You're going to start out about $160. And when you look at it, you'll notice that it has a very similar shell shape to the Moto 9 Carbon Flex from Bell, which is their premium offering. That's the helmet that Eli Tomac is wearing, and in my opinion, I think the Carbon Flex, hands down, one of the best looking helmets that is out there, and that's why I think so many riders love the MX9. Now you're going to be a size medium, is 3 pounds, 6 ounces, you're DOT and ECE certified. Now the venting design on the MX9, not going to be as good as what you saw with the V1, but there's a great safety feature that you're getting with the MX9, which is their MIPS liner system, and that stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. And what it is essentially is that between the comfort liner and the shell, there's a MIPS liner. It creates a slip zone, which helps the rider's head slip in the event of a crash to help mitigate those rotational forces. Very comfortable helmet, but keep in mind all helmets are an apparel item. So if you get one, if you're not happy with the size or fit, send it back in brand new unused condition. We'll give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange. But along with that MIPS liner system, another great feature about the Bell helmets, 5-year warranty coming from Bell. So again, rock solid helmet, great price point. All right, helmet number 3, this is the Subverter from LS2. Now at first glance, Subverter, definitely a very unique shell shape, has more of that European-esque type look to it, but there are some features about this that are very unique that separate it from all the other helmets that we're going to show you today. Size medium, 3 pounds, 5 ounces, you're DOT certified. Now I mentioned earlier that some of the top riders in the world are wearing some of the helmets up here. Well, if you're familiar with Kyle Chisholm, well, he actually wore the Subverter for the entire 2019 Supercross season. So you've got top riders wearing the Subverter. Now, here's what's unique about this helmet. First up, if you like a helmet that vents, definitely want to consider. We talked about the V1 earlier and how well that helmet vents. I think the Subverter tops that. When you look at it, you've got vents along the chin bar, but here's where it really sticks out. Underneath the visor, you've got big intakes, and then when you look at the top of this helmet, there are vents everywhere. And what's cool is that with the EPS liner, there's actually channels cut into that correlate with those vents. So needless to say, this is going to flow a lot of air. Now, when it comes to construction, this is what's unique about their safety features. So LS2, they use what they call the kinetic polymer alloy for the shell construction. And what they say is that they want to have a helmet whose shell has a little bit more flex to it. And to give you an example of that, when I pick this up, you can actually see just how flexible that chin bar area is, and that goes for the entire shell. A lot more flex than the other helmets that we've shown you today. And the reason that they do that is they say that a shell that is more flexible will absorb impact better. So that's their take on the safety, the impact absorption, and on top of that, they have their safety sliding structure, which is more of like a coating on the inside of the EPS liner. And I'm going to compare it to the MIPS liner system, although it's not the exact same, it still has the same purpose, where if you crash, it's going to help the rider's head slip or rotate inside the helmet to help mitigate those rotational forces. Now, my only nitpick with the Subverter is that you start out at around the $199 price, and you jump up to $299 for different colorways. So for me, pretty big gap as far as colorways are concerned, but ultimately, it's a rock-solid helmet, very unique safety features that are built in. Moving on down the list, helmet number 4, this is the V2 from Fox Racing. So the V2 is a brand new helmet that came out in 2019. Now at first glance, it looks very similar to the V1, the younger brother that we just showed you. Price point, you do go up about $100. With the V2, you can be about $250. So same shell shape, but there are some differences here between this and the V1. You're gonna have 11 intakes for venting. So we already talked about how well the V1 ventilates. Well, they improved it for the V2. You're also gonna notice too on the top of the visor, you have these cutouts here as well as on the side. You're not gonna get those with the V1. DOT and ECE certified, weight's about the same, size medium is 3 pounds 5 ounces. But here's the kicker with the V2, and this is what I like about it. If you look at the V3, which is the premium helmet from Fox, they took some of the biggest safety features in that helmet and they put it into the V2. And the first one is their Verizorb EPS liner. So it's a dual density EPS liner. And what's cool about it is it actually has a cone shape to it. And what's unique about that is that they say that it will help absorb energy more progressively. So it'll help absorb those smaller impacts at those lower speeds, but as you increase your speed, that EPS liner becomes firmer and it will help absorb those impacts as well. So you get that Verizorb EPS liner, and on top of that, you have what they call their fluid inside pods. So this is a safety feature that they're pulling from the V3 and putting it into this helmet. You have 5 of these inside the V2. And what's cool is that they teamed up with the University of Ottawa to bring these to life. And what these fluid inside pods do is just mimic the natural cerebral spinal fluid that you already have inside your head. So you have the spinal fluid that's between your brain and your skull to protect you in the event of an impact. That's what these mimic. So you have 5 of these, like I said. There's an oil on the inside, and you can see it moves in every direction. And what Fox says, a term that they like to use, is that it decouples the rider's head from the helmet. And what they say is that the more freely that the rider's head can rotate in the event of a crash, the better it's going to mitigate those rotational forces. So it's a pretty unique safety feature on top of that Verizorb. And here's the kicker. If you watch the outdoor motocross season in 2019, Ken Roczen, for the last few races, he was wearing the V2. He chose it because he actually kind of preferred the fit. I've ridden the V2 as well. I actually kind of prefer the fit of the V2 over the V3, but that's going to come down to rider preference. But if you need a testament of how good the V2 is, well, you can take Kenny's word for it. Ultimately, rock solid helmet, again, around $250, but you get that Verizorb liner and those fluid inside pods. So to finish everything off, the 5th and final helmet in our lineup is the F2 Carbon with MIPS coming from Fly. Now with the F2 Carbon price point, you're gonna be right at that $300 benchmark that we set for this video. But what I like about the F2 Carbon is that for years, this was actually the premium offering from Fly Racing. A lot of top riders in the world wore this helmet for a lot of years. Riders like Blake Baggett, Benny Bloss, and Weston Pike. You can be DOT and ECE certified. And here's what to me really stands out about the F2 Carbon with MIPS. It's a very comfortable helmet. I've ridden in it, probably one of the more comfortable helmets that I have worn. But they use their carbon matrix shell. So you're getting materials like carbon fiber and Kevlar. This helmet is super lightweight. A size large is 2 pounds 15 ounces. So it is by far the lightest helmet in our lineup today. No other helmets come close. So when you put this helmet on, that is one thing that you will notice is how lightweight this helmet feels. That's what's one thing I love about it. You've got a good venting design on this. On the inside, you have a multi-density EPS liner, but you also have the MIPS liner system. We talked about that earlier, multi-directional impact protection system. It's a feature that was added to the F2 Carbon later on throughout its years, but I'm glad to see that's in there. And again, rock solid helmet, super lightweight. You get the MIPS liner system, $300 price point. That a helmet that a lot of top riders have worn. This is the F2 Carbon with MIPS from Fly Racing. All right, so that wraps it up. That is our top 5 guide for helmets sub $300 for 2020. Remember, I want to hear your questions and comments below, so write those, and to pick your next helmet up is really simple. Click on the link or head over to RockyMountain-ATVMC.com. Don't forget, orders over $75 ship free. And if you guys like this top 5, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, and that will keep you up to date on the latest top 5s, gear guides, product spotlights, all the how-to videos that we're constantly filming. I am Chase. We'll see you on the trails.